What do you think of when you hear the words wave-based zombie shooter? I bet a lot of you would think of the widely popular Call of Duty zombie games. Or maybe you're a little bit older and thought of the Left 4 Deads instead. Heck, I bet there are even a few of you thinking of Plants vs Zombies. Not gonna lie, those plants are way too overpowered. But what if I told you there was a game out there which pioneered the entire genre? A game so scary, I refused to play it as a kid at night, or in fact on any level above beginner. Yes, that's right, I'm talking about the greatest game of all, Unaliving Floor. Before you say it, yes, technically it was the mod that was the pioneer, but forget about that, we're looking at this today. Now, in case you don't know what Unaliving Floor is, which I imagine could be quite a few of you since this game came out the same year as Modern Warfare 2. No, not that one. I'll give you a quick rundown and get you up to speed. So, basically at its core, this game is a 6-player co-op wave-based shooter where hordes of enemies attack you. Yeah, that's all you're getting. I'm saving the rest for later. I can't show you everything. We're going on a trip down memory lane, taking in the sights. Imagine what it'll feel like later on. The gameplay, the story, the guns. Ooh, it's all so good. You know what? Go on, I'll show you something. That was good, right? I'm sure you're getting excited now. I'll go on one more time. Again. That's what we all live for. It's a game of a bygone era. They don't make them like this anymore. Unaliving Floor just reminds me of things I miss from older games. Like, look at this. Matchmaking? Never heard of her. You want to play solo? Play solo. You want to find people to play with? Find the server. You want people to find you? Well, I'm the server now, bitch. You can't shut me down. I had a wonderful time hosting my own lobby. Yeah, this game's dead. Surprisingly, there is a whole background and lore for this game, but in all honesty, there's not much and it's pretty loosey-goosey. It's set in London. Government-funded biotech company, Horzine Corp, were on a mission to create the perfect super soldier. No feel, no fear, no thought. Programmed to be ruthless and unalive on sight, they actually managed to create a variety of genetic enhancements, cloning technology, and even invented invisibility. The CEO was a bit of a loon though. As a test, he unleashed all his creations onto London, and they just decimated the entire city. Then he decided to Alan Wesker himself into the ultimate weapon and clone his new body a lot of times. Who knows who the real one is? The Disaster Response Force was then set up and tasked with dealing with all these monsters and securing the city. It fails and most people are unalived. You play as a member of the DRF, and surprisingly, you were given two options. You could have just went to the pub and waited for this to all blow over. But no. Instead, you decided to join up with your team and try to save the world by fighting back the horde of zombies.
You come to our house, you get my wife's name right!
Oh, sorry, yes, they're called Specimens. I must say, he's quite the specimen. Look at the size of him. We'll come back to you later. Since it's a horde shooter, the story isn't really the main focus. It just serves as a nice little backdrop for the carnage, and a bit of flavour goes a long way. It sets the vibe, the tone, the atmospheric spookiness. I don't know if it's the sound design or the older graphics, but these maps really got to me. Guys, I can't lie, this map's a lot spookier than I was expecting. I didn't expect it to be like, holy shit! You'd be surprised how well the maps are made. There's a good amount of variety in the selection. Some are better than others, but you can't argue with the choice. You want a spooky, never-ending feel? You got it. How about a creepy carnival? Yep, you've got it. Want a desolate fight on the moon? How the hell did we even get here? Now you've got a map selected. It's all about surviving against the endless waves of specimens. Well, I say endless, but it does have an end. You only need to survive for 4, 7, or 10 rounds and beat the big bad boss at the end. It just gets progressively harder as the rounds go on. And the specimens, well, they just get more varied. You've got the basic bitch boy, swordy arm man, Invisigirl, gun guy, and I don't know what this thing is. I gotta say, these specimens are well made. Well done, Mr. Clamley. They have their own unique look and a little gimmick to provide different challenges. It's almost like you knew they were in a video game. The Clot, who I did call a basic bitch boy, is the most common specimen, but that doesn't mean he's weak. Just like any clot, a single one isn't too bad. But when you've got a lot of them, well, you've got a stroke on your hands there, big fella. If it gets near you at any point, he snares you into place, which is a surprisingly threatening tool when other specimens are coming to unalive you. Gorefast are just big sword men who charge at you and deal high amounts of damage. Bloats are that big fella from before. They throw up on you and deal damage over time. Stalkers are, yes, they're invisible. Sirens are really slow, but they do a big AoE scream which kinda shakes your screen. Crawlers are those weird gimp-looking things that they're closest to the ground and can leap at you, which can cause an issue. Scrakes are just fellas with chainsaws. Husks are one of the most annoying since they're the only specimens which can shoot and force you to dodge ranged attacks. Flesh pounds are harmless at first, but oh god, why would it die? Fortunately, between waves, there's a lovely human lady there to cheer you up and sell you weapons. I do think she's a bit of a necromancer or something because she's got this weird red mist that guides me to her. But how can I complain when she sells me a gun? For a 2009 game, it's pretty shocking how good the guns are. Guns are aplenty. Big guns, small guns, shotguns, guns, fire guns, bomb guns, knife guns. Okay, these aren't guns. The variety's insane. Even Tripwire knew how good their gore and guns were because they even added a little slow-mo just to show it off. Since it was 2009, the guns actually have a little thing called recoil. Not sure you've heard of it. It can be pretty difficult to control, which makes the actual act of unaliving specimens more difficult and exciting. But even if you're bad at aiming like me, not to worry. All the guns are tied to classes, which make them more powerful. These bonuses start off pretty small, but as you complete challenges and level up, they get really substantial. I can't lie, in a modern shooter, you don't normally care about recoil reduction. It's nice, but not really a necessity. Most guns are just like a laser beam. But in this, reducing it at all has so much impact. It helps out all of the time. The game has 7 classes. Now, people like to call them perks, but that's basically the same thing. If you can let me know why they should be called perks, go right ahead. But I'm just going to call them classes for now. Now, you don't exactly need to use the guns which match your class. You're free to use whatever you want. Get the grenade launcher and demolish an entire area of specimens if you want. You just don't get the bonuses. The commando we were just talking about is actually really good at detection and completely counters the stalkers by revealing them in a certain area. He's generally always good to have. If you're a pro shooter guy with pro shooter aim, you can become a marksman and get scary headshot damage which just decimates everything. But you've obviously got to be good at aiming. If range weapons aren't your forte, you can be a berserker and use melee weapons. This guy is fast, gets damage reduction, and completely negates the clots because they can't even immobilize him. This guy reveals just how satisfying decapitation can be in this game. Or maybe damage isn't your thing and you want to be more of a supportive team player. For that, you can play as a medic and throw healing bombs at your team. Or maybe you want to play as an engineer and stare at the door with a welder the entire match. Okay, that doesn't sound good, but he gets the shotguns as his main weapon, so that it kind of balances out. When I see comparisons between Unaliving Floor 1 and its more modern versions, a lot of people generally say that the newer games have improved the gameplay, but in all honesty, I wouldn't even say they're the same game. They're more Call of Duty-esque with a whole run and gun emphasis, whereas I see this more like a Valve game. Sprinting? No, we don't do that here. Instead, we whip out our knives like any normal British gentleman. I see the lack of sprint as a good thing. It slows down the pace of the game and makes it harder to run away from enemies. If you want to run away, you have to make an active choice to whip out the knife and get your small little speed boost. You better hope a clot doesn't grab you when you've got that knife out, otherwise you're done. It just makes the game a lot more intimidating, and it's so easy to be overwhelmed when you can't run away. That's where the teamwork really shines in this game. On some difficulty options, it's basically a requirement if you want to survive. There's all kinds of strategies and mechanics you can implement when you're working with a team. Unfortunately, I'm not able to show any of this. Come on! Please somebody join! Yeah, you're just gonna have to trust me. You might not need teamwork when playing on beginner or any of the lower difficulties, but once you hit hell on earth... Oh god, they keep coming to! It'll never stop! How many have I got left? Oh no! It's never ending! Unless you're some generational prodigy, you're gonna need some help. Fortunately for you, the music while you're mowing down all these waves is pretty special. The soundtrack for Unaliving Floor 1 is iconic. Even if it's just the nostalgia talking, you gotta admit it's pretty good. It just fits so well and adds so much to the game. Lad, I'm not gonna lie, this song gave me heart palpitations. Ah! Ah! Please! Come on! Come on! Ah! Fuck! Yeah! Yeah! Come on! Now, fellas, let's get this straight. This was just a look at an old 2009 game. I don't think you should buy this game. Well, not for that price anyway. Now, for that price, I could be convinced, but the real thing holding you back is having friends, or well, people in general to play with. At its core, this game is all about cooperation. So to get the real experience, it's best to play with real people. Now, your AI companion doesn't count. Yet.